Hello, Sarah of SNK Handmade here. Let me start. We're here to talk about my final thoughts about the Advent kit that I purchased. So, um, I'm going live in two places at once. I'm still working on my setup, I guess, is the real truth of it. So, I hope that neither of them looks too terribly awkward. But I appreciate your patience and understanding if things are just like not perfectly on, especially when I like show certain things. So we are here to talk about my final thoughts about my Advent kit that I did. Not my Advent kit. That sounded like I made an Advent kit that I partaken in. I bought an Advent kit. If you weren't here for the first one, you can go back and watch that live if you want to. All the things are in there about why I purchased, why I hadn't purchased in the past. But brief overview, I bought an Advent kit very much on a whim. I had an opportunity to purchase at my local yarn shop, who I love to support. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I knew nothing about the Advent kit when I bought it. I had not like researched and done all the things. I just purchased, and then I took you on a journey through all of my experiences opening the different little packages. If you followed along with that, you know that my first surprise was that it was not a traditional Advent kit. It was a month-long kit. So it had 31 packages to open instead of like 24 or 25. So that was very exciting. It was like bonuses I wasn't even expecting right out the gate. So that was lots of fun. So what I want to talk about today is, I should say, if you want to go through, I'm probably not going to show everything right now. But if you want to see all of the things that were in the Advent kit, you can do that in a couple ways. If you are on Instagram, I shared in my stories every day, and I put those in a highlight. So you can go to my profile, and right now it's the very first highlight. If I make a highlight about WIP wrap up, it might become the second highlight, but for now it's the first one. I think it says Advent 2022 under it. And then you can click through and see all the little videos of me opening things. If you are on YouTube, I shared them all in my shorts, so you can go back through and look at the shorts. I've made a playlist, but I have not put all of them in there yet, but I will do that so that they're all combined together. And then I'm thinking about creating a video for YouTube that is just one video, like back to back of all of the openings. So let me know if you think that would be fun to watch. So today I want to share my final thoughts now that everything is done. And just like how I felt about the experience, and whether January Sarah thinks that maybe December Sarah would end up buying, or I guess you usually have to buy them in like November, sometimes October. I've seen a couple dyers like open it up for like Christmas in July, pre-order the kits now. So anyways, whether future Sarah might or might not want to purchase an Advent kit. So I want to talk about the overall experience first, and then I'll talk about some of my favorite things that were in the kit, some of my least favorite things that were in the kit. So generally speaking, I have a lot of fun with it. I get why my kids like to have a little Advent calendar and open something every day, even if it's something small. The anticipation of it is fun. The excitement and mystery of what's going to be inside is a lot of fun. I caved this year and let my kids get a Lego Advent calendar. And so we all three of us had something to open every day. And it was fun to talk about, like, what did you get in your Advent kit? Which, I mean, I was more interested in theirs than they were in mine, to be totally fair. But it was a lot of fun. And it was something, light and joyful to talk about, which I really enjoyed. So I really had a good time with it. There were several pieces or gifts, I guess, in the Advent kit that I was absolutely in love with. The yarn was probably top favorite, absolutely favorite. I got in the kit, I received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minis. And I would say 5 of the minis, I'm obsessed with the colors. These are my colors. It's like they were made for me. Love them. The other 3, this one, it's more of a copper than it's coming up on camera. I would not have chosen this color if I were like shopping in the store, but I really love it. And I think it goes so well with the other colors. The 2 colors that I'm kind of meh about are the more pastel-y colors, which is like, if you know me, classic me. I really like bold, saturated, deep, dark colors more than pastel-y. But I do have to say, even though these, again, probably would not have been something I would have picked up myself, maybe the teal in the summer. I really like teal, but I tend to lean more towards like a really deep, saturated teal, like that. In that little bin there, that's like a really nice, deep, greeny. Anyways, but I do think that altogether the colors are really fun. So I was very happy with the minis. My other favorite, let me see if I gotta find it. I had everything kind of organized here, but it's not all laid out. My other favorite things were, I don't know if I'll actually use this, but I was really surprised and delighted by this little tag. So it's like a faux leather tag that you put like on the edge of a cowl, or the point was that they had a pattern for this and you were supposed to knit along. And then all these things went together. So you would put, it was a shawl. So you would put this on your shawl. It goes with the yarn. So that makes perfect sense. I was eternally delighted by these little glittery stitch markers. It's hard to really show them on camera. So go look at the pictures. The pictures were slightly more effective. My youngest, thrilled by those. He thought those were the best thing ever. He has no idea how to use them, but but he really thought they were fun. But what I'm digging for is I was so delighted by this tiny loom. This was a total surprise. I'm guessing maybe that you can use your leftovers from your shawl to do a little something on the loom. That was a big surprise. I mean, it was all a surprise, but that was a surprise that like I opened it up and I was like, genuinely just thrilled about it. It was so fun. So there were definitely, it was up and down. And I feel like, if I'm being real honest, I feel like that is gift opening in general, right? Even when you open with friends and family and stuff, there are some things that you're like surprised and delighted by, and other things that you're like, oh, I'm not 100% on that. Or it grows on you maybe a little bit as you kind of live with it or whatever. So maybe that's just me. So So that was my general experience. So those were some of my most favorite things. So let me share with you some things that I was less thrilled about. First of all, one of the really general things that I knew ahead of time, but didn't think about because I was just like, oh, I'm just going to purchase this. The dyer, I know her name is Knitted Wit. And so she focuses on knitting and knitters, and that's fine. But this kit definitely focused on knitting and knitters. I knit, so it's not like these, adorable stitch markers are unusable to me. I can use them when I knit something. And again, they would have been used in the pattern for knitting up the pattern that came with it. But in the future, I will definitely be more conscientious of if the kit or the place I get it from leans more towards knitters, because I am mostly a crocheter. I do knit. And so while things were fun that just related to knitting, they're not as useful to me. So the I would just share my own little kind of faux pas here, or mistake, I guess. I don't know. The kit came with this lovely little brochure pamphlet-y thing, and I opened it right away at the beginning, which was intended, but what I didn't do, I didn't read through it. I just opened it and flipped through, and on the 5th page, there was a picture of all of the yarn that you were going to get. And so I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer, because now I know it's coming. And part of it was the fun, right, of not knowing. But maybe if I had paid a little more attention, I would have seen that coming a little bit. Because that's a page I did not have to look at until it was done. So it had a whole description. So once I did that, I was like, oh, I don't want to spoil anything else. So I put it away and ignored this until yesterday when I was like, I should get that out and read it. And I wish I had sooner, because it has this whole 2-page layout describing why they chose the things they chose. What, if you watched my unwrapping videos, I got these cards, and it explained what the cards were and how they intended you to use them, to which, because I didn't read that, I was kind of like, oh, a card, that's an interesting word. So it would have been good to read that. I would have preferred that there had not been a spoiler of the yarn in there. So what was included in the booklet was a description of all the things, and then the pattern to knit if you were going to go ahead and use the yarn as you opened it to knit the shawl, which then they have a picture of the shawl too. I do wish there had been a little spoiler ahead or something, down at the bottom or something, but there was not. So there were some pieces that I just wasn't super thrilled about. I wasn't super excited, just because personal preference. The big skein of yarn, I'm lukewarm about. Now, for their pattern, what they did was they marled the mini skeins and the full skein. So they held the two together, and that gives an interesting effect to, kind of mute some of the colors in here, like maybe the browns and stuff that weren't maybe my personal preference. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the yarn, but that's an idea of a technique that I could maybe use to make something that I might be a little more pleased with the outcome of, but I haven't decided. There were several things that I probably won't use, partly because I'm a designer. for some of them, and partly because I just, that's how I felt about them. The three things that I probably won't use because I just have meh feelings about them are, there was a postcard. I mean, I suppose I could send a little postcard. Maybe that would be encouragement for me to send like a nice note to somebody. There was a sticker. I really liked, all of the cards had this on the back of them. I love this. Honestly, I would probably put a sticker like this somewhere. But I don't know. I don't know that I was like so enthralled with the experience of the Advent kit that I would want the rainbow of emotions. That's what it says. It's backwards. On something permanently. And then they sent a little tea light. It came with the word like tranquil or something. I think the intention was for you to light this, spend some time being tranquil. But I didn't, and I probably won't. And it's unscented, which I understand because you can't get everybody's scent preference. But that's something else I probably won't use. There is one thing that I won't use because I'm a designer, and I've been trying to think like, if I was a hobbyist, and I'd love for you to tell me, if you are a hobbyist, is this something you would use? Because I'm not doing a great job having perspective on this. What this is this is an invitation to a community that the two, it was a yarn dyer, and I think the other one makes like notions and things. It's a community put on by those two to go throughout the year and and build a community, inspire each other, share projects, and that kind of stuff. I won't use this. I have a community. I run a community. But I don't know if that's something that I won't use just because I'm a designer, or if as a hobbyist, I also would have been like, I don't really want that. So those were the ups and downs, I guess, of the whole thing. I will say it was very well thought out. There was clearly a lot of forethought that goes into this. I do really appreciate how Advent boxes are put together. It like way too late. I went to my local yarn shop owner and I said, Sarah, her name is also Sarah. That's a little confusing. Sarah, wouldn't it be fun if we put together a local Advent kit? And she was like, do you have any idea what goes into that? And I was like, no. And she was like, a lot. Making mini skeins is apparently an intensive project, and so she opened my eyes to really the forethought and the work that really goes into building a box or a kit like this. And so I do really appreciate the thought and the work and everything that went into it, even though there were ups and downs. So final thoughts. Would I purchase an Advent kit again? Current Sarah says yes. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved opening the things daily. I loved the surprise of it. I loved like the childhood reminiscing of looking forward to opening things daily. Would I buy this specific kit again? I think the answer is no. There were enough things in this kit that I felt lukewarm about, that I don't think I would invest that kind of money in it again. Doesn't mean other people wouldn't enjoy it. Or that it won't be different next year. But I think if I purchase an Advent kit again, as a personal preference, I think I would lean towards a kit that's all yarn. Um, A, because you can always use yarn. Or share yarn. Even if you open a couple days of your Advent kit and you're like, that's maybe not my style. I would have friends that I could gift it to. My mom knits. Maybe I would make something for my sister. So I feel like if it was all yarn, I would definitely have a use for it, no matter if I was like instantly in love or kind of lukewarm about it. So if I do a kit next year, if I purchase, I should say, a kit next year, I think I would go with one that is all yarn. There was a kit that I like waffled over for too long and missed. I definitely regret that. So I may like write in my calendar and next year, like go buy her kit. I would love, I see a lot of yarn dyers who are like this one, leaning more towards knitters. I would love to work with a yarn dyer with their kit and design a crochet project so that they could do their kit, have a knitting pattern and a crochet pattern to go with it. So I'm debating if I want to reach out to some dyers. So we shall see. We shall see. So it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you joining me on this journey. If you haven't, like I said, on Instagram, they're all in my highlights. On YouTube, they're all in shorts, and I'll gather those together as a playlist so that you can go back and see all the things. There are also some still photos on my Instagram. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you go through and look at all of the things, is it something you would have been excited to purchase? Are there things that you absolutely love, things that you maybe wouldn't have been as excited about? But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me. Always good to chat with you. Have a great day and happy crafting.